Hi, welcome back to our Algebra playlist. In this video, we're going to talk about how to graph inequalities. So inequalities are not equations, and they're not expressions. They have an inequality symbol, and they relate the relative size of two things. So inequalities don't just have one solution, they have more than one solution. So I should do that color, more than one solution. And when I'm graphing, I will use an open circle when the number or the value, I'll put the number, is not included. So what do I mean by this? If I don't have an equal to sign. So on this inequality, this says y is less than 3. I can have 2, I could have 1, I could have 0. Those are all less than 3. Negative 10 is less than 3. That would also work, but I could not have 3 because 3 is not less than 3. That would not work, so that is not included. You could also express this as, I'm going to use an open circle when the inequality is not equal to. And I would use a closed circle when it is equal to. So this would look, not equal to would look like those two symbols. And the equal to problems have the bar underneath your inequality symbol. So graphing my inequalities would look like this. If I'm given a blank number line, I want to put that number right in the middle. And the first thing I should ask myself is, do I have an open circle or a closed circle? Here, 9 would not work. 9 is not greater than 9. There's no bar underneath my inequality. So that would be an open circle. And what does this say? This says x is greater than 9. So what this is here, this is really just a number line where I have my positive numbers on the right, my bigger numbers on the right, and my smaller numbers on the left. So I have 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 all the way down to my negatives infinitely far to the left. Or I could get bigger, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And those numbers would just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So if x is greater than 9, what are some numbers that would be greater than 9, that would make that inequality true? Well, 10 would work, or 11, or 12, or 13, or 14. So I will shade my inequality to the right there, and you'll sometimes see inequality shaded kind of like this. It's just kind of hard to see on a computer screen, so I'm going to do it like this, though your teacher might want you to shade on the line itself. Either way is fine. I'm just going to do this so that you can see it more clearly on the computer screen. I could also identify if my variable is on the left, if I'm in my standard form here. If the variable is on the left here, I can look at my inequality symbol and it should also tell me what way to shade, what direction to shade. So that inequality symbol points to the right, and I shaded to the right. But again, that only works if you've got it in that standard form where your variable comes first. So on number 3, I've got, this says w is less than or equal to 11. So I'll put 11 right in the middle. And the first thing I should ask myself again is, do I have an open circle or closed circle? And since 11 is included, there's a bar underneath my inequality symbol. That would be a closed circle. And now let me fill in the rest of my number line. This is really just a number line. And I'll look back at what this says. W is less than or equal to 11. Well, if W is less than 11, then where should I shade? What numbers are less than 11? The numbers to the left are less than 11. You could also, because this W, the variable, comes first, I can look at my inequality symbol here, and it is pointing to the left, so I would shade to the left. I'd like you to try, let's say 2, 4, 5, and 6. Pause the video and then unpause when you're done and check your work. Alright, so number 2, we should have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 1, 0, negative 1. Open circle, shade to the left. 4, b is less than or equal to negative 4. So negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. Again, this is just a number line where my bigger numbers are on the right. And that is a closed circle at negative 4. And the b is my first part. It's in standard form. B is less than or equal to negative 4. So it's the numbers smaller than negative 4 to the left. And here h is greater than or equal to 13. So 13, closed circle, 14, 15, 12, 11. What numbers are greater than 13? The ones to the right. And our last problem, this one's kind of interesting here, number 6. Because t, my variable, is not the first thing I see. That reads kind of strange. I would read this as 24 is less than t, but I'm not used to reading problems like this. I'm used to having my variable out front. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to flip the whole thing around. And because I flipped the whole thing around, and this opened up to t, I'm going to make sure that I flip my inequality symbol around as well. And this would now read t is greater than 24. And that means the same thing as 24 is less than t. It's just a different way to express it. I should put or equal to, shouldn't I? And that would be a closed circle, and I would shade it to the numbers that are greater than 24. Okay, so that's a quick refresher on how to graph inequalities. Check out the solving inequalities problems on our next video.